Well, hello, and happy Friday. I cannot believe it's Friday already.
Just like that, another week gone.
Just like that, another week gone. Well, Gizmo was the first one in the house tonight. Good evening to you, Gizmo. Followed by EZ. Good evening to you. And the greatest name on the internet.
Half Bubble Off Plum.
Made it right in the door. And Jules, of course, is in the house, as is Terminator and the Banquet of Consequences. Rickster, how you doing, my friend? Scroll down here a little bit. Vicky Pullen, how are you? They say that you were late because you were being productive, but you weren't late.
But yeah, I'm right on time.
Sliding in right at the right moment, right? Richter said, I went to the dermatologist today and he froze off half my back. I only had old man skin there, but he did it a biopsy and it might, my right forearm, and it might be cancerous.
Oof.
Yep, prayers for you.
Ouch.
You'll be all right, though. You're a trooper. Let me see here. Did I miss it? Randy, good evening to you. Tambra, hello. Bessie, what's up? Says, I'm here. I made it. First on time live. Oh, congratulations. I think this might be B's first on time live.
Welcome.
Yep. Eagle Lover, good evening to you.
Hello.
Yeah. Gypsy, what's up, bud? Yep, I got your text message today. I'm in bureaucracy fun. I actually got you some stories for that. To get to the bottom here. Oh, Leather Homestead, how are you doing, bud? ACM and One More Rock. The famous LJC is in the house, one step closer. I just did an interview with the guy where we were talking about the calculator you built. Midwest Ribeye and Rusty Dog, good evening. Mary Michelle's in the house. Beth Emily, hello, hello. Nitos, how are you, my friend? Bird's Eye View, they're famous. Jesus, what are you doing? Are you shutting the heat off? Okay. Jesus, I think I said hello, but if I didn't, hello. Hakersraw 54, good evening. And Todd Not Todd said he almost missed the show. Well, you didn't. That's good. B's turning off a heater.
Yeah, I think I did. I do it right.
Yeah. Okay. Tom Schibble says, Kentucky Hillbilly in South Carolina, welcome to December.
Yes, December.
Oh, my goodness. It's December.
And just like that, another year is.
Yeah. Man, time is just flying by. You know, I've got, I think, 7 voicemails I have yet to return from today.
Oh, wow.
Man, I just
What have you been doing?
I know,
sleeping.
Right? Oh, yeah. I've been lollygagging all day.
Napping.
All right. What do you got on your list for today? Let's start with you.
What are you looking at? Get out of my list. Only I can read it.
Okay. I'm just proud you can read.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I can. So we had our Thanksgiving came.
Mm-hmm.
Our family came and we had Thanksgiving with our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Had tailgating food because we watched the Bronco game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of us watched the Bronco game. Some of us stood in the kitchen cooking.
Yeah. Yeah. So it used to be at our house that the Denver Bronco game, because I grew up a Broncos fan, was a huge event. And I had NFL Sunday ticket and we watched every game and we tailgated every game.
Oh, the pregame, the
post-game, all of that stuff. And then they started kneeling, and I just kind of don't really watch it much anymore. But when my boys come over,
yes,
because I raised them Bronco fans, they're still quite Bronco fans.
And that was something that you used to do with your dad.
Yeah.
You guys kind of all did it together. They were all Bronco fans together. So that was something that they kind of enjoyed.
Yeah. So it was neat to watch it, though. I think it's the first game I actually watched this year. But it was fun to hang out with the kids. And
that wasn't the first game. This is December.
Yeah, but
doesn't it start in like September?
Yeah, but I haven't watched
August.
I haven't watched any of them.
You haven't watched any football games?
No, I've got some highlights and stuff, but no, I have not watched any of them. Karen W, good evening. Dorothy Holloway, good evening. Pack Rat's in the house. Tag is on vacation rather than be on vacation then. Yeah, it's something like that. Grateful Hearts, good evening. Hey, Skanes Girl, what's up? Gizmo says, Tag, have you been productive today? B, that's for you.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know if he has been.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I spent all day in my office today, all day yesterday in my office today. I've put in, because I've got some business stuff I'm working on that's just kicking my tail.
Time-wise, or?
I did it time-wise, and it's stressful. And then I've done a bunch of interviews. Yeah. I did one earlier tonight, which we're going to talk about. I got one in the morning that's super interesting. But anyway, we'll get to that. Silver Lining, hello. Hope all is well with you. City Greens and Dragonfly Ryan are in the house. KY Goatman. I think Nito said, yeah, we quit. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Nito said, yeah, we quit watching sports. Yep, Janine, good evening to you. And Lazy Loper is in the house. All right, get rid of that. Okay, anyway,
Yep.
sorry.
So from time to time, I guess you get to watch a game, and when our boys are around, then you get to watch it with them, which is even more fun for you.
Yes.
So, and our granddaughter is on Solid Foods.
Yes.
So that I don't know what I was thinking, that she was still just not, I don't know. So mama comes in and starts looking around and is like, well, what am I going to feed her? And I'm like, oh, crap. I guess like Little Smokies. You don't want to feed her some like Little Smokies? She's like, well, I mean, I could try. So the ground beef was a hit. She loved the ground beef. She actually got seconds.
Was it buffalo or was it beef?
It was beef.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to. I cooked 6 pounds of hamburger that day because I had to have it for the nachos and then for the queso dip, and then I put mine on lettuce. So I had to have plenty of ground beef, and then I had leftovers, so that made chili also,
which we had
yesterday. So and then I also got to repurpose the sweet corn. I don't know if you noticed there was corn in the chili.
Yeah, it's actually good.
So when I put the leftovers in, I just put them in one bowl. So it was like already kind of not stirred together, but on top of each other. So I had to mix them. So it was a leftover chili soup.
Well, we have the legends, Gregory Kissel's in the house, Life with Mike and Jen, Starla Doak, and Salty Dog.
Yes, welcome everybody.
Yep.
So we had a good time with family members and able to enjoy one another and spend time together.
Yeah, I think it's important to slow down and spend some of that time together, right?
Yes.
I mean, because it's so busy. It's
work heavy.
Yeah, it is work heavy. And that's something that B and I are really trying to get better at. We homestead and we live off grid and we do all of those things, but I would tell you guys that we don't do it efficiently. And are
you talking about me? That I'm not efficient? You're not, or we are not efficient together? What do you say? What do you talk about?
I'm talking about neither of us are efficient.
Yes.
Yes. And so I'm trying hard to make those processes easier and trying to be better at what we're doing so it doesn't take quite as much energy, so we have more time.
He wants me to do more.
No.
that do in my head says do more. No.
That wasn't what I was saying.
So yes, we are trying to settle down for from time to time.
Gizmo down here says that B, I love your wood cooking videos.
Thank you. It's hard sometimes for me to remember to do them because I cook every day. Something.
Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of requests for you doing that's not the right word. Sorry. For you doing a more complete video on how you cook through it, because you cook we literally, guys, all of the food. What do you mean
a more complete video?
Like, I'm going to make this and all the steps in it. Now, because what you typically do. So
many seconds though.
In a short.
A short is so many. Yeah. What do you mean?
You don't have to do a short. You could do a video like I do all the time with editing and all the things that go into it.
I don't know what you're talking about. You want me to make a video on cooking?
I don't, but there's people out there who have asked if you would do a more complete video on cooking a meal all the way through the process. Not just because what you do is you wood cooking, open it up. Here's what we're eating.
Done.
See, guys.
Yeah, and I conveniently leave out the ones that are burnt, overcooked, undercooked, dehydrated. That looks okay, but it's not.
Yeah, and 100% of what we eat comes off of a wood stove this time of year.
Yeah.
Right. Not all year, but certainly this time of year. Hey, Ghetto's in the house. Good evening to you. I think I already said hello to City Greens and Tom Shivel, but if I didn't, hello. And yep, January will be here before you know it. And I have so much stuff, Tom, going on right now that it's going to be right up on top of me, Yes. Rickster says that my older brother's retiring from the Navy in January and is thinking about moving out to Utah. Man, community, yeah. Right? Super important. Look at this. Jen says, hi, everybody. Rubbing Mike's feet, just listening. Everyone behave. Aww.
That's wonderful.
See, babe, that's commitment. Yes. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You did know that.
Mhm.
So you just refused to be committed.
I'm committed.
You don't rub my feet.
That's not one of your love languages.
It is today.
You can't just switch things around. That's obviously something that, he enjoys and wants.
Mm-hmm. Maybe she's so dedicated that what she's doing is helping him explore his horizons to new and more interesting things that he would also like.
That could be.
Maybe she's committed to his growth.
She's a wonderful lady. That's exactly what she's doing, I bet.
Yeah, Indiana Mike, good evening to you, bud.
Ahoy.
Yeah, Indiana Mike and I are going to build some stairs coming up here pretty quick. Hakes 54 says, yeah, I do. Stairs are pretty easy. Says you're learning to work smarter, not harder. We're trying to, but it's hard because there's so many processes and so many things that go on. I don't know how much you can simplify feeding the cow. Right, but I'm working on it.
Sometimes I have to be tricky about that.
Yeah, I'm just not good at it.
So this morning, I don't know, did I tell you or was I telling Jeff? So this morning, lady lifted me up off of the ground by my butt because I had her food in the scoop and I was coming out of the door and she's always standing right there at the door. If I leave the door open, she comes in the door and then I touch her on her nose and I say back and she does back, back, back. She gets back. Not today. So she was like, she does this up and down with her head, which is like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And it's like, she's getting closer and closer. And so I turned my butt towards her thinking that like, I just push her back and she flipped her head up and lifted me up off the ground. And the food went all over. And then the turkeys were just right there. And it was a very... I was not happy about it because it's muddy right there. And so when I came back down, my feet kind of landed on my heels and almost slipped backwards. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, oh gosh, if I get on the ground. So I was smarter today at nighttime chores. She's standing at the door and I went around to the inside and put the food in there. And when I peeked out the cow door, she was like, hey, and came gallivanting over to her food that way. So I have to, wherever she's at, I have to, or have you come with me. I don't know.
So you became more efficient today.
I don't know. I'm trying to outthink the cow.
So that opens
or
up
heifer.
So that opens up opportunities for other things.
Oh my gosh. I'm learning that turning my back towards her is not necessarily the thing to do.
Gypsy says, tag, I saw Bee's wonderful heartwarming gift. She's such a lucky lady.
Yes.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
You are such a wonderful, kind-hearted guy. Your gifts warm the community's heart.
What gift did I do?
He just walked past the trailer of wood and was like, I'm so overwarmingly, I'm so full of love right now. I'm just full of warmth. And I was like, I'm so glad that you feel it too. It's a community thing.
Ghetto says he ain't touching feet for no amount of love. Oh, yeah. See? Yeah, I told you that is one spoiled lady. See? How many people get a trailer load of wood, right, to warm their heart?
Is she talking about me?
Yes. Yes. Told you she is one spoiled lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rickster says cow's gone wild. Hey, Toby, what's going on? Let me see here. Hey, Jane's in the house. Jane says, I had a horse that liked to push me over from behind when I went out with food buckets. Yeah. Gregory says you need to get a stick and make her respect you, Bee, or she'll hurt you. And I agree with that. You got to be the boss 100% of the time.
Yeah, I didn't want to be on the ground.
Yeah. Eagle Lover says, no, she's talking about lady. No, but you are one lucky lady.
And
hey, Squatchy, good evening, bud. What's going on? Let me see. KY Goatman says we've got cows that nod at us. Yeah, I don't think it's that big a deal, but I do agree with what he was saying earlier, Gregory, about you have to be the boss.
Well, I thought I was.
Clearly. That's why she's never done that
before. And I mean, she does rub her head on me, but I thought that she was, wanting me to pet her and love on her. But no, she lifted me off of the ground by my butt.
It's
So
been a long time since someone lifted you off the ground by your ass.
I did not like it because I did not come down like planted on my feet.
Yeah. Jen says, okay, foot rub done. That wasn't very long. Thanks, Lisa, for the amazing plantain save. Yeah. Silver lining in here makes some great salves.
Yeah.
Yep. Lady Freedom was born royalty and knows it. Yeah.
Yes. And she likes her sweet
Yeah.
feed.
Yeah.
Not oats so much, but
yeah. Yeah. Not oats. That's why I think you got to mix them together, right?
Yeah. The stuff I have now has oats mixed in with it.
Yeah. Squatchy says cows are tough to deal with. Starla says, time to start artichokes, parsnips, strawberries, and asparagus. I'm so ready to play in the dirt. Not here. It's cold, and we ain't even gotten to the cold yet.
Yeah,
and it's already cold. Yeah. Tamber said, I started before the live stream, says Jen. Yeah, likely story. Yeah. Yeah, likely story. I think that you should start a tradition, Jen, in the Life with Mike and Jen household, where you begin the foot rub at the beginning of the Friday Live, and you rub them into the end of the Friday Live.
Eek.
This would show complete commitment and devotion.
It's not necessary.
Yet it's necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. Yep. I think it is. Yep. Tamber says she don't want them in her space. She's referring to the cows.
Mm-hmm.
There's Silver Lining, says that they're welcome. I love all the varieties that I make. Yeah, and she's really good at it. I bet that cow has been waiting her whole life to do that, B. Now she's walking a bit higher and her friends are admiring her for it, right? She leveled up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've been productive by helping the cows level up.
Yes.
Right.
I've been boosting their egos.
Yeah, you're boosting their egos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else you got?
It's, Beulah doesn't do that, just probably because her mom has taught her, like, don't do that to me.
Yeah.
And
well, her mom don't put up with no
the heifer is going,
yeah.
I'm wild.
Yeah.
Nobody can rule me.
Yeah. Do you have any other animals that walk all over you?
Yeah. Yeah. I need to work on that. Right. So I didn't mean to bring that up. That was just something that came up.
Toby wants to know if Gypsy keeping you and I straight. He's trying.
He's keeping us busy.
Yeah. Ghetto says the cow reminded me of the book Animal Farm. Better watch out. All animals are getting ready to revolt.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all equal, but some of us are more equal than others. Right?
Yeah. And that's what she's saying. She's like, I am way more equal than all of these others.
Hey, Tori Henry. What's up, bud? Tori says, wasn't a personal cow, just was not in the mood.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Jen says, then I can't interact with everyone. It's been a rough couple of weeks. Laugh out loud. Mike went to Little Rock for his master's exam, and now he's stuck in a textbook. Yay. Yep, more reason to make the Friday tradition. I really like this idea, Jen. I really think you should, institute this. One more rock says, I brought in many plants and have mosquitoes that have hatched out in my house. Oh, no. Oh, no. Tag, yes, she is sitting next to one. Do you have any animals that walk all over you?
Yes.
Yeah. Am I one of them?
Yes.
No, I don't.
Yes.
No, I don't.
Yes.
I completely bow to your will.
Is that what that was?
Yeah. Okay, so when you need something done, do I do it?
Yes, you do.
Do I put all of my stuff on side so I can meet all of your needs?
Only because I'm standing there tapping.
Nagging, not tapping.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. Squatchy says, our yellow horse here has no respect and can't get out of his own way. Yeah. Well, I think B is just not mean enough.
I don't want to be mean.
Well,
I want her just to...
Except, babe, in the wild, in life, every animal there's a pecking order. And they understand that. It doesn't mean you have to hurt them.
Yes.
But you got to be firm enough on them that they know, or at least fear, right? Remember, it's like raising kids, I'm going to get so much heat for this. Fear is healthy in a lot of ways,
Yes.
Some, some is healthy. If they know that you're bigger, tougher, and stronger, they're a little more likely to listen.
Or they'll be in trouble when dad gets home.
Yeah, right. Why does that work? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think about that. Why is, the boys are acting up and you say, hey, I'm going to call your dad. And they're like, nope, please don't do that. Right?
Yeah.
Why does that work? Yep. Are
'Cause
you all
I'm
going to
nice.
start telling chicken math and calculus jokes?
Calculus.
Terminator said, I've been busy working on my addition. Insulation is in, wiring is done, and vapor barrier almost done. Oh, good for you. Instigator says it's not mean. It's fair, firm, and consistent. I like that. Tamber says you have to be the boss.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, see, everyone agrees. I thought I was going to take a little heat over it, but
no, I don't want to be trampled by by my own animals.
Like the geese, how when you walk in there sometimes they like to chase at your heels and
every now and again.
Yeah.
And I just stomp and then they're like, okay, never mind.
Yeah. You have to stomp.
Yeah, that doesn't work with her though. I have to do something different.
Eagle Lover says, have Grandma Louise come over and talk to her.
Yeah. And I think that I know what she would say, but I'm not, it's hard to, when she's doing that with her head, I can't get to her feet to push her back. And so I don't
Nitos has an answer for you. This is why I love the community, stuff like this. I have found that a lid of a metal garbage can can be used like a shield. Works great to repel aggressive roosters.
Huh.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just to take that. And I have a trash can with the
right
handle
there
on the lid.
Yeah.
So I just, something else to carry around. So I got a lid, I got the food, I got a stick, I got a.
Yep. Jules says, Nitos, that's good. Those peckers are dangerous.
They sure are.
Yep. All right. What you got else on your list? What's next?
What else? So, we got most of our Christmas shopping done. The stuff that we are buying.
Mm-hmm.
With the Black Friday, now all the Black Friday sales are now shipping and showing up at the house. So we had a box truck today deliver
car parts
for the American worker.
Yeah.
Made by the American worker for the American worker.
Yeah, I had a whole truckload of car parts show up for my Chevy pickup that I've been building for the last couple of years.
But it was weird. It wasn't like a FedEx truck. It wasn't the UPS truck. It was like a plain box truck it's just kind of weird. It looked like they were here to rob the place.
Squatchy says, I would hate to tick off my way better half as she is the boss with the animals. Hey, and the super famous American Roots Farms in the house.
Hello.
What's up, Jess and Joe, or Marsha, or all, or none, or one? Right?
Something like that.
Hey, Dana Green, good evening to you. Eagle Lover said you should put the trash can lid on your back like a warrior. Yeah, Tamber says axe handle works good. Yeah, Gypsy says Louise is saying time for a hot shot. You know what that is? It's a
poker.
A pole with its electricity and zap them. Yep. Yeah. Nito says it's the large spurs that she doesn't want. Let me see here. KY Goatman says canned chicken. Yeah. That's how you deal with the aggressive ruse, right?
You can them?
Yeah, you can them. Which we just did a whole bunch. Silver Lining and Bee butchered a whole bunch of roosters not very long ago.
Roosters.
Aggressive ruse go in the pot if they don't conform. Pick them up, squat down with them between your knees, hold them in place while the other cooks look on. Has worked several times. So Jen is such a savage.
Down.
She's showing the other roosters what's about to happen to them if they don't conform.
Oh, geesh.
Savage. Absolutely savage.
I'm going to make all your friends watch.
Yeah. Yep. Jerk roos are on the list soon, very soon. Yeah, we just went through that.
Yeah, we had to do it because we had an overabundance of roosters that were get too many in the same coop and they don't play nicely.
Well, and then your egg production goes down. Yeah, you got all of that. Anyways,
yes,
you're talking about holidays.
Now I've got over a dozen eggs a day that I'm like, okay, here, puppy.
Right.
How many, what else can I do with eggs? I mean, I've, got them preserved in every way I can. And now, I don't know. We don't eat as much in the wintertime, I don't think. I think we eat more in the summertime than we do in the wintertime.
Yeah.
It's like once a day now.
Yeah.
to where before you get up, you eat, you go outside, you work until you're hungry, and then you come back in.
Yeah.
Now you get up, you have coffee, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Until dinner. So.
Yeah. Hey, Banquet of Consequences said, and I wanted to address this too. I just always forget about it. It says, what the heck? I just got an ad. Rickster says, stupid commercial. Yeah, guys. So YouTube changed some stuff here recently where they will place the ads wherever they want them. I have no control over it. I would prefer that they weren't on there at all, but
so like during the live
yeah.
feed,
So what they'll do,
they'll
stop it for some. I don't even know. I don't know if it works where everybody gets an ad. Like I don't know, but they have.
And is it the same ad?
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I wish I could pick it and decide who could run an ad.
Yeah,
but I can't do anything with it. So
yeah.
I have no idea. Jules says, speaking of delivery, I need to peek outside and see if the last of my prior order finally arrived. What we got here?
Yeah, the shipping is weird too, because like I ordered 6 items from the same company and 1 item showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, like the I don't know. They're not being very efficient.
Squatchy says hard boil and feed back to the chickens or dogs. Yeah, what she does, and actually she has a really interesting way of doing this, Squatchy. She uses her sun oven and she puts the eggs in the carton, stacks the cartons in the sun oven, and leaves them outside, and they hard boil.
They don't boil. They're baking.
Yeah, baking.
I don't use the sun oven right now. Right now, I just put them in a metal pan and stick them in the oven, and then they do sometimes get overcooked, but the dogs don't care.
Oh, this is interesting. American Root said, I just got an ad to skip, and then it asked me to buy YouTube Premium.
Huh.
Yeah.
Dragonfly
says he got a survival straw one. Interesting.
Survival straw.
Yeah, Jules says the only way to stop them is to turn off monetization. Yeah, maybe we can do that because we don't make any money doing it. You know, this video will make 0.001 cent or something. Yeah, look at that. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah.
So they are all getting the ads.
Not all of them, but some of them are. I think we have sun oven on order. Yeah.
You'll love it.
Yeah, you will love it. In my opinion, Bill and Fallon says, in my opinion, they need to pay a fee for interrupting your live. Yeah, they do in that because of the ad, they pay you. But guys, it is not what people think it is at all. I mean, literally when I close this live out tonight, if I go in there, which I won't, but if I do go in there and I look at the monetization part of this video, if we made 1 penny, I'll be shocked because usually it's 0.00 something, it's just, there's nothing to it. So I don't really pay any attention to it.
No, we do it so that we can interact with you all fine folks.
Oh, look at this. Life with Mike and Jen say they got a Brandon ad. A Biden ad.
Wrong group.
Yeah. Yep. Jules said it was a financial ad. Yeah. No ad for me. Yeah. It is what it is, guys. I can't control it, nor am I going to try to. Anyway, you're talking about the holidays, right?
Yep.
And I interrupted you.
I was just talking about how now we took advantage of Black Friday on some sale items that we were hoping to get.
Mm-hmm.
And then now they're starting to come in.
Yeah.
So it's like boxes and then you've got truck parts coming, which is not Christmassy, but or gift at all.
Mm-hmm.
But it's an item that we needed. Were they on sale, or were you just like, nope, it's just time to get
that's where we're at in
vendors
the process.
or whatever.
Just where we're at in the process.
So you were not taking advantage of any kind of sales.
No, it's just the parts that I need for the place that I'm at. Because this is probably important for you guys to know that, when you're, for those who don't homestead, for those who do, you already know this, but you kind of chasing the weather all the time.
Yeah.
And so like last year when the springtime came, we were, planting and we were in the gardens and I was building swells and fencing and turkey coop and whatever. That's the stuff that you're doing. And then what happens is the wintertime comes. And as it begins to cool off, I start thinking about all the inside work I have to do, right? Yeah. So there's, I'm going to sharpen all the blades on the lawnmower. I'm going to service everything. I'm going to do all of that, but I'm going to work in pod 4. I'm going to get that building finished and get there. But I'll also hopefully, in some of my downtime, I can work on my trucks. I really want to get it going. I really, really, really like it. And I can't wait to have it. But let me see here. Life of Mike and Jen said red tools were great on Black Friday. Santa in the brown truck has been here a couple times. Yeah. He's talking about the Milwaukee tools.
Yep. And the UPS guy. the UPS guys, the brown Santa
truck,
and the brown truck.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Let me see here. I got 4 Patriots mystery box ad. Oh my goodness.
Huh. So they're all kind of survival related.
Yeah,
oh no, and financial, I guess.
Yeah, YouTube is paying us to watch you guys. Shit, I'd love that. At least somebody was getting it, right?
Yes.
Let me see a T-shirt idea. Canned cock when you have too many roosters. Yeah, it's the problem is with the rooster thing is that we hatch all our own chickens, and so we're going to start. About middle of March we'll start, and we will hatch another clutch of 50 every 21 days all the way through September, and then. But as you guys know, who raise them, a lot of those will be roosters, right? And then you grow them up big enough.
About half, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got
about half.
50-50
right.
chance.
Yeah. And so this year, one of my projects in the spring is to get the cock run up. I'm going to build her a specific run just for roosters so she can lock them up so that we can feed them the way we want to feed them to grow them for meat versus having them with the rest of them. But we shall see how it goes, right? We had a local pawn shop, FFL, that had an anniversary sale yesterday, 22% off brass seeds. Oh, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Super good deal. Let me see. Bass Pro sale was good. Got some new flannels. I'd like that. Yeah, pretty cool. Let me see. How do you get all that money to do all that stuff on your homestead, says Barb. Yeah, so I'm an entrepreneur, and I was good with my money in my previous life, and that helps a little bit. But I also still own a lot of interest in a lot of things. Not stock market things, but even the company that I left in my debacle, I'm still the 4th largest shareholder of the company. And so, there's just stuff like that helps pay for it. That pays for a lot of those things. But the farm itself makes very little money.
And then we shop when we can on sale. So like the siding and like Black Friday, that was one of the things we were searching for flooring for Pod 4. On Black Friday. One year we had gotten a good deal on wood at a box store and we took advantage of that. But since then we have not found flooring. And then that's the thing too. Like when you find something that's either that you can get for either half or cheaper than a box store, you can't be picky about it. So like you got to
compromise, right?
Compromise. Yes. So we, most of our house is concrete siding with a wood grain on it. But the stuff that we just got for half price.
No, 70% off, less than half price.
Was flat. So there was no grain on it.
Right.
Which then you have to, change something up in order to make it look like you did it on purpose.
Yeah, I think this is an important point as to how you do it. I also buy in big bulk sales. I go to the auction a lot. Like all that siding we bought, it's going to side the barn. It's going to side so many things here on our farm. And I got it at 70% off. And so that's how I managed to do it is you can't afford to pay retail for anything. And what that really means, though, and this is good advice for you guys, what that really means is you end up with a lot more projects going than you anticipated because you start something and then you get to a point where you need material and now you're on the hunt.
And you don't want to go buy.
You don't want to go buy retail. So you're hunting. Just like the siding, I left those walls unsided for 9 months waiting to find more siding. Well, I found it and now we're working on putting it on,
and had we have needed it at that time, we would have, probably have went and had to buy what we could, but we had so many other things going on that you just change, like, okay, Pod 4 is weather tight. Let's move on to something else that we have the material for, or that we, like the turkey coop. He did not want to use telephone poles because he says that you cannot build a square building with round poles and keep it.
No, it's not. The round pole isn't what makes it hard.
Well, it's because it's a bit tapered. The pole is not the same.
It's because it's one size at the bottom and another side at the top. And so imagine trying to level a triangle. Well, if I level this side's crooked.
Yes.
If I level this side's crooked.
Yes.
And so it makes it just hard to keep it square. I'm not a big fan of building with telephone poles.
Circles.
But I had them.
Right. And we got them free. They were replacing the poles and we got them for free. So, even though he didn't want to do it, I talked him into it because that was a huge savings for us. And then we didn't have to concrete it in and, concrete the floor and add all of that. We left the floor dirt, and we didn't even concrete the poles in. We just dirted them.
Yeah.
Dirted them.
Yeah. Dragonfly Ryan says news is starting to talk about bird flu again. Yep.
Yes. So we have our first case in Kansas. It's a potential case.
I didn't read that.
It just came through WIVW, which is our local news channel, that they're waiting for the results in Northeast Kansas.
And one great thing about where we live, to your point, Dragonfly, is that if you drive by the road, you can't see anything. You can't see the house. You can't see the animals. You can't see anything because we live on the back side of the hill. And so hopefully that's good at, hiding them. Jen says, my dad has a pen just for roos. We butchered a pile of them a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I want to get there. I'm going to build her. And I know what I got it in my head what I want to build. I just need the time and resources and materials to go out there and do it. I have all the poles that I want to use, but there's nothing else that I have right now. But
be exciting.
Yeah, we'll get it. Yeah, Tamara says that they say that the pointy eggs are the roosters. That is not true. I can tell you that with 100% certainty that is not true, because B and I last year separated the round eggs from the pointy eggs to try it, and it was not true.
Yeah.
One Step Closer says and tags the auction master. Yeah, you got, guys, I'm telling you, to be successful, you cannot pay retail for much.
Yeah.
Looks like you guys are doing great and playing it all smart. Keep up the great work with the videos. You guys know the value of the funds for sure. Yeah, I try to stretch it the best that I can because you only have so much of it,
Right.
And I work 1 day a week in business. Sometimes, I guess it's not true.
Yeah,
I'm on call all the time.
You're on call all the time.
Yeah, but I'm gone that 1 day a week in order to do business. But my income's nowhere near what it was, not long ago.
Well, and there's often, like yesterday and today, you were in the you were home, you were on the farm, but you were not working the farm. You were doing other stuff. And so there's a lot of that.
But did you know when I'm sitting up here and I'm doing my work and I look out there and you're all bundled up in the cold weather, taking care of the animals, you're so beautiful.
You're watching me work?
Of course.
Great.
Big with consequences says my old barn fell in on itself. I'm going to salvage the tin roof material and the lumber for an outhouse.
Yes.
Yep. And that you've got to do
That's
that.
Great because now you're just repurposing it for another building.
Yeah. Tamara said she'd love to have an outhouse. The price of corn that I sold from my farm this year is about 37% less than last year. What a bite. Well, there's a lot that's changing economically right now. We're going to talk about this later tonight.
Wow.
I've got some interesting statistics that I've dug up while I was, just reading and doing my things that talks about where the economy actually is versus what they're saying. And there's some contradictions in there, which I find super.
Really?
Yeah, imagine that. Right. Jules says their water company was hit by a cyber attack. There's a lot of that going on. Yeah, Jane says, good idea about a roo coop. And hey, there's the big dog himself, Mr. Rain. How are you, bud?
Howdy.
Yep. How are you? Let me see here. They've been warning about cyber attacks about the elections. Guys, I'm telling you, there is the electronic warfare going on every day in mass scale. You're not hearing about it, but it is absolutely going on. You really got to dig to find it. Let me see. I ordered me a pair of metal CDs a few days ago, early Christmas present for me. Let me see. Could you have taken the mill and squared off the poles to make them dimensional? I could have, but then the problem is, there's two problems with this, at least in my opinion. And Mr. Rain, you're the boss, right? I mean, you've had a mill a lot longer than I've had one. But I'm worried about running into nails. I'm worried about running into railroad spikes. I'm worried about running into the things that they put into telephone poles. And then the other thing, it makes the pole a lot smaller. But yes, I could have taken them to the mill and instead, made them into an 8x8 or whatever, or measured all of them and figured out what's the consistent measurement, because you got to make them all the same. Can I get an 8x8 or do I have to cut a 6x6 out of each of those poles? So I guess I could have done that. Yeah. Barb says, you're so beautiful, B. How sweet of your husband. See, foot rub will get you a lot further though. Sure.
I agree. You should rub my feet. Haven't had a good foot rub in a long time.
Yeah, Terminator says they have a his and her
outhouse.
Yep. Yeah, pretty cool. Let me see. We have a his and her outhouse on septic out back. It's great. Let me see. Mr. Rain says he's doing good. I think I got all the way down there. All right, cool. All right. So what else what else you got for the holidays you want to talk about? You want to talk about your family, right? Your dad and
Oh, so this last week was my dad's birthday.
Yep.
And then next week is your dad's birthday.
Yep.
And neither of them are here. This is a, nice reminder that they're not here.
Yeah.
We get, Thanksgiving and throw Christmas in there and family. And then, it's something that you just get used to.
Yeah.
Because you don't ever get over it.
Yeah. Well, I think what's interesting too is, that I miss my dad a lot. And, he was kind of this rock of a person, and, anybody that knew him would have said that. And I do, I miss him. I think about him, almost every single day. And it's weird to be around the holidays without his craziness, because he was a mess. But I certainly miss him. And then, Bee's dad was such an interesting guy. He was the mayor of a town when I met her, and ran a successful mechanic shop and a body shop and all of these kind of things, and yet couldn't read or write. And, and Bee would
graduated high school.
Actually graduated high school and couldn't read and write. And he just managed to work his way through it. And, Bee would download, music for him and all of these things. And he also was the pillar of their family. And right. A lot's happened since your dad,
yeah.
Right. He was kind of the rock there too. But anyway, we miss him a lot. And
we just kind of keep going.
Yep.
Just remember him and be grateful.
Yep.
My parents, they were divorced when I was 2, and he was not in my life for 10 years. So when my mother and father remarried, I was 12. And at 12 was when I was able to start my relationship with him. And so I am grateful to have had that time with him. And he wasn't a big talker. He was
quiet.
Yeah, he was quiet until he, had something to say. But I was grateful to have had that, to have him in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was a good man. One of the things I regretted about Bee's dad is that he was such a good mechanic and body man. And I always said to Bee, if I ever can get around to it, I'm going to restore a car with him. Because I've done a bunch of that in my life.
Oh, he would have loved that.
Yeah, and just pick an old car and restore one. And unfortunately, life got busy and I never got around to it. And I kind of regret that, because that dude was super good at it.
I would if you're going to drive a car, you're going to learn how to care for it. So you're going to get out here and you're going to get under the car and you're going to change your own oil and you're going to change your own brakes and you're going to, do your own tires and all of these things, because you need to, know how to take care of yourself. But man, if I needed him, all I had to do was call and, boom, he would fly to Virginia for me and, drive to Omaha to push me out of a ditch, just because, and, of course, the whole time I'm sitting there waiting for him, I'm going, damn, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? What am I going to say? And he's like, all right, well, and he's standing there and he's looking and he's like, well, what happened? And I'm like, well, I was driving and I slid into the ditch. And he's like, well, what did you learn? And I'm like, well, I was going too fast. And he's like, yes, you were going too fast. I'm like, geesh, okay. Or, hey, which tire? Why were you late last night? You had a tire? Well, which tire did you change? That one. And well, come and look at these lug nuts. Do these lug nuts look like you took them off? I drove down the gravel road on the way home.
Liar, pants on fire.
He's like, I did come back and say, like, do you remember that time I lied to you? And he's like, I know. I know you lied. Like, sorry.
Nito said, I needed a larger coop. Wood was too expensive, so I bought off Craigslist a pickup load of vinyl fencing rails for the walls. It turned out great.
Vinyl fencing.
Like those white, right? Which means they wouldn't rot. Right. And I know a lot of them are filled with wood, but that's a really great idea. But I think this is a great example of how you continue to build. Is you just find a way, you find deals and you use those deals, the best that you can.
Yeah. That's how we stretch our dollars.
Yeah, Tamara says this time of year sucks if your family has already crossed over. Yeah, well, I don't really look at it like that.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think it sucks. I don't feel like it sucks, but it is a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're gonna dig a hole and sit in it, then you can, but
Yeah.
it doesn't make you any farther along. It doesn't help you to increase the joy in somebody else. You know, you pass the people that you're around and just yourself to remember our loved ones and to be grateful for the time that we had with them. And that, you know, my dad, I met him when I was 12 and got to learn how to service a car, you know, not because I wanted to, because he made me. Because if I wanted to drive, I had to do it. But now, you know, I probably won't pay $300 for an oil change because some guy told me I had to.
Right.
So, you know, I think that it's a mindset. And for us to live each one of these days that we are given this life, a beating heart, to be grateful for it and to share that joy that of just being here. So,
you know, I think there's another side to that, all of that too, which is, you know, when I think about Pops, you know, I think to myself all the silly stuff that went on, and my dad was the strongest man ever, but he was a mess.
Pink Crocs.
Yeah, I mean, he was just an interesting human being, but I actually giggled to myself quite often about it because I think at the end of the day, happiness is not a destination; it's a journey, and you choose to be happy. And so you can choose to think of it any way you will. You know, like I look back at your dad with nothing but admiration that the guy managed to do what he did, and I was thankful to have known him. Like I don't think of it as sadness at all, personally.
Yeah.
And even with my dad, I don't really think of it like that.
It does hurt though. Like, you know, you know, you sit and you think about that person, there is pain there. It hurts.
Yeah.
But you just keep going. You just,
are you gonna cry on me?
No. No, I didn't cry this year. You know, usually I sit and it's just like, but I think because, you know, last week I had that, you know, ho hum kind of attitude and was like, God, I'm such an idiot. And I think, you know, just stopping that and going, no, I'm not going to, you know, I'm happy. This is exciting. We're exciting, you know, I'm at the prime of my youth.
Jen says Tag stole the mayor's daughter. I think there's a country song about that. I'm thankful I still have my dad. Yeah, and be thankful. I'd love to have my dad back. I really like this comment too. Starla says, find a house, tear it down, you'll have all the free wood you want. That's to say, you can buy with energy. It doesn't always take capital, right? And there are all kinds of places that allow you to tear it down and those kind of things.
Yeah.
You know, if you get out there and do it. So there's a lot of ways to do it. Tamara says she's an only child and my kids don't like me. Yep, I hope that changes for you.
We can't change the opinions of our kids. I mean, we can try to guide them painfully sometimes, but I hope that you can find a community that you can have to lean on, because Tamara, I hope that for you.
Yeah, I pray that for you as well. Oh my goodness. Karen says, I was thankful. I was in my 50s when I lost my parents. My youngest sister was only 38 when dad died, and mom died on her 40th birthday, something I would not want to have to go through. I don't know. Do you think you're more resilient when you're younger or older? Because part of me thinks
when you're older, because when you're younger, you just, you know, that guidance is so important. You know, had I not seen the work ethic of my dad or the commitment, you know, that I will drop whatever I need to help you out. You know, my first apartment, he stayed the night with me because I didn't want to be alone. he slept on my couch for like 3 nights because he was like, I don't want to be alone. It's dark and I have these noises and there's people upstairs. And
You are such a chicken.
I know. And now I'm like, turn the lights off. We can see better. How weird is that?
Pete says, I love my pop. He still works kind of and operates heavy equipment. Tough old man. Yeah. Tamara says, I pray that I will be happier the next morning when I'm sad and missing my family at night. Yeah, hey, Miley Mason. Good evening to you. Let me see here. I will let all of those ghosts visit on December 24th and 31st. They must stay in the background the rest of the year. Now, that's actually a good way to look at it, too.
Mm.
That I'm going to give myself these moments. I actually like that, Pack Rat. Really well said.
I do, too.
And I think that would offer some people some relief, maybe.
I was going to say relief.
You know, in it.
To be able to have that time to say, like, I'm not going to forget you. It's
not forgetting.
It's not forgetting because it's always there. But to give yourself that time and then to next it, because we can choose how we react to our surroundings.
100%.
So,
well, and I think this would help a lot of people. But for me, I just choose. I'm not going to think about him dying. What I'm going to think about is all the crazy. When he asked you to look down that diesel hose and blue diesel fuel all over your face or whatever.
In my eyes.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know the man, and he's blowing all over me. Yeah.
But it's those kinds
I will
of things.
never do something stupid like that, though. Mm-hmm. Hey, can you see anything in there?
You'll never do anything stupid like that?
Not like that. I won't go looking down the barrel of a gas hose.
We can go back into the archives of our lives, and I bet you I can find 7 examples of.
Nope.
No? Okay.
That was all. That was last year.
My wife had a I miss my mom moment the other day. We were remembering all of the neat things this time of year she did. Yeah.
Yes, this is.
Yeah, we used to go to my dad's house, and my dad was a super hunter, and so he had this room on the back of his house. And
the dead room.
The dead room is what she would call it, because there was mountain lion and bear and elk and
pigs,
all of these things
cats.
Mounted, all over. Museum level of stuff. And we used to always go there, and we don't do that anymore. Now it's kind of turned into the new tradition of our house, right?
Well, yeah, because you're now grandpa. We're now grandma and grandpa.
I agree with B. Older is easier. I had 14 more years of guidance and love from my parents than my younger sister.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jules said, I lost my dad when I was 11. I spent most of my life wondering what might have happened. Yeah. Yeah, that's hard right there.
See, at such a young age, at 11, you're just a child. You don't even know.
Yeah. My mom passed when I was 13 and didn't know any different. I don't know how we got on this topic. I mean, it's super, super cool. And Pack Rat, by the way, your statement of the ghost was just brilliant. Lost my dad 12 years ago. Miss him every day. He only made it to the 4th grade, fought in World War II, horse trainer by trade, and could do everything. See, I love those kinds of people.
You could do everything.
And yeah, I absolutely love those kinds of people. Oh my goodness. I am so far behind, guys. I am so sorry. I'm just going to skip down here. If I missed something, sorry, guys. Once we have children, we become their memories. Make those memories matter.
We become their memories.
Yeah, how cool is that? That's actually really, really, really well said. Yeah, my dad coached Little League. He used to go to practices in a dirty white T-shirt, long shorts, white knee-high socks, and cowboy boots. I was so embarrassed as a teenager till I asked him why. Well, you got to
why? He said it there.
Yeah. Let me see if she answers it right here. He said, if they are picking on me, they aren't each other and learning tolerance. He turned 83 this year. Glad he's still with us.
They're picking on him instead.
Yeah. Gizmo says he did his best, and yes, I can change a tire. And Jules said, I just realized the other day that February will be 10 years since my mom passed. It's been 18 years since my brother passed. Yeah, it's so hard. My aunt was born in 1883 and passed away in 1962. She was 79. How's your sweet tooth holding up with all this wood cooking? Oh, Big B. I've been kind of spoiled, actually, because there's some things that she makes. Like she made cornbread the other night. I know that's not classified a dessert, but it's sweet, and I love cornbread. And so we've been eating a lot. I have been eating a lot. of that recently, but it's good. Wintertime for me is kind of dessert time, and we kind of joke about it in the summer, but we don't heat those. We don't heat the house up, and so she doesn't use the oven, which means there's usually not a lot of baked goods. But I'm spoiled. But the good news is the winter's just started, and so I'm looking forward to a long rest of the year, Big B, with desserts. I'm thinking creme brulee should come next. I haven't had that in a while.
That I need to like triple a recipe because I think I ate most of them last time.
Yeah, I got
like
one.
Bigger bowls of it. Like why are these such small bowls?
I got one last year.
Did you?
Yeah, one. She made all of those, and I got one, and I wonder why.
Yeah, because they were delicious.
Yeah, one of the worst things is not having a home to go back to. Yeah, crazy. Moving on as a concept is for stupid people because any sensible person knows grief is a long-term project. That's well said. Oh, Gregory wants key lime pie. Yeah, I'm of all of those types of pies, like, I don't know if I'd put, maybe
like the fluffy stuff on top.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff.
Like a meringue.
I'd put coconut cream at the top, but key lime's pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Hey, Love runs rampants in the house. Good evening. Says bare belly for winter hibernation. Yep, amen to that. Yep, death's part of life, and lots. I've lost lots of family young. 2 of my siblings were pretty difficult. Yeah, so hard. Cornbread isn't sweet. Johnny cake is, though. I don't know the way she makes cornbread. She puts honey and butter on it.
What's a Johnny cake?
I don't know. Hey, there's the beautiful MJ in Wisconsin. You were right on time. She became a great aunt today.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Boy.
Yep, congratulations. My dad used to put cornbread in a glass and then fill the glass with
gross.
buttermilk. It's not gross.
Gross. Tag does the same thing with just plain cake.
I like a chocolate cake.
Gross.
Okay, no frosting though. So just a chocolate cake, and then I fill a glass to the rim
with cake,
and then fill it with milk. Oh my goodness, it's one of my favorite.
It is like slop. It's like if you were in prison, what they would feed you.
Oh,
it's
you're
like
missing
bread
out.
And water mixed.
Yeah.
Gross.
No, it is so good. You guys just simply do not understand. It is just so good. Anyway, all right. What you got? Let's go.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I was looking at Johnny cakes. I was trying to figure out what a Johnny cake was.
Cornmeal cakes, says
cornmeal. Cornmeal is what you make.
Okay, let's ask the judge.
Johnny
cake is what us in the North refer to as cornbread, but that is not true cornbread. True cornbread is not sweet and is made with white cornmeal and baked in a cast iron. Oh, so we eat Johnny cake.
Okay.
Because it's yellow and it's sweet.
You think it's, well, I mean, there's sugar in it.
It's sweet. Jules said, tag, my mom loved cake and milk soup.
Gross. That is so gross.
Yeah, Miley, the weather here is in the 20s at night and the 40s during the day, typically. We got a little bit of rain this morning, but nothing major.
Yeah. And I've been letting the fire burn out at night because it's been in the high 70s up in our bedroom. And so by the time morning comes, the downstairs is like 65 degrees, which apparently is pretty normal for most people. And I just start a fire again. That way too, I don't have to get up every few hours to keep the fire going. Although the fire, there's usually a few coals in the bottom of it anyways. Creme brulee by the gallon. In what? Oh, a lot. How big? A gallon? That's like a...
The judge said, marrying into a family of hillbillies, I had to learn that what I thought was cornbread was Johnny cake. Okay. Huh. Hey, Potpourri for Life's in the house. Good evening to you. Yeah, well, whatever you want to call it, it's good. It's sweet. I enjoy it. But
did you eat that? You didn't eat that with milk?
No, I wouldn't do that with cornbread. What I like with cornbread is chocolate cake, no frosting, with milk. That's my favorite of that. All those combinations.
That's what you like with cornbread?
No, that's what I like in the glass. I wouldn't put cornbread in and eat it with milk, probably.
With milk. Mm-mm. Well, what did you do? You just had it with the butter.
Butter and honey. Yeah. So good.
I just like it with my chili. I don't put...
How about that?
I don't put a...
Milk cake. I've had that, and it's really good. Really, really good. All right, let's get on to a new topic. We don't get talking about
What else? Oh, so yeah, I put on here that you would be happy to hear that the wood warms Gypsy. So I'm glad that he mentioned that earlier because your love just is overflowing to everybody.
Overflowing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I got a message from Nancy. She's back in country and she wants her seeds.
Okay.
So I told her that you had a mishap with the beans, and I'm hoping that she can. I don't know.
Yeah, the mishap she's talking about was she left all the seeds in totes in the middle of the kitchen floor, and I walked through in the middle of the night to go pee and ate shit and spread the seeds all over the place. And now Nancy from Buffalo Seed Company wants her seeds that are now mixed all together, and B has not stopped to separate them.
What? I didn't know. No. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot. So she wants me to box them up and send them to her.
Okay.
Which I'm gonna have to get a pretty big box. So I will probably do that tomorrow.
Tamara wants to know, what is creme brulee?
It's like egg jello.
It's so good. It is so good.
Hey, I got a joke for you.
Okay.
Why do bees have sticky hair?
Why do bees have sticky hair?
Why do bees have sticky hair?
Because they get in their honey?
Because they use honeycomb.
That's a dumb joke.
They use honeycombs. It's not a dumb joke. It was cute.
Hey, one step closer. Good night, bud. Yeah. All right. You want me to come up with something?
So one more thing I have. We are looking for a list of people who want to do the medical class. I've got 13.
We have 13 now?
I've got 13 yeses and 2 maybes, depending upon the date if it's picked. We were thinking of, it's a 2-day class. We were thinking of renting the hall. What do you call that? The venue.
Where we did the Festivus.
In Holton. And that way we have a kitchen and bathroom and heat and place to spread out and get our medical on.
Background says tags, sleepwalk, medley, exclusively.
Oh my gosh. That's putting it nicely. Why do cows wear bells? Because their horns don't work.
Oh, that one.
The neighbor's horned cow worked.
How about that one?
If you teach a wolf to meditate, you get a werewolf. A werewolf. Oh my goodness.
All right.
So if you are interested, send us a
message. An email.
Yes. We will get 20 people together, and then we will try to set up dates that work for everybody. Yeah. It'll be in the summerish time.
Yeah,
right?
spring or summer,
fall.
Yeah, and it's the Homestead medical class taught by Chuck Peoples. We had to get 20 people together, and then he would travel to do it. It's a 2-day class, so it's a whole bunch of medical stuff. But so we got 13, so we're getting closer and closer. Yeah. So pretty cool. All right. Let me come up with something.
Yeah.
Do you do a couple?
Sure.
Okay, so I just did a video interview with a channel called Freedom Lover, the Freedom Lover Show, which I did that right before this live here tonight and over on YouTube. And so they'll post that at some point. But really interesting conversation. This guy, his name's David Rodriguez, and David is an educator by trade. He's a principal at a private high school.
Oh, nice.
And he has a channel talking about voluntarism and talking about community and talking about those things. And I met him when I was down in Florida speaking at the Jim Gale event, The Path to Freedom. And so he asked me if I'd come on and talk about community. And so the name of the channel again is the Freedom Lover Show. And they'll be posting that video soon. And then earlier in the week, I did a video with Nature is the Answer with Corey.
Corey.
Yeah. Earlier, and we talked a lot about those kind of things. So that's what I've been kind of up to as far as that goes. And then I wanted you guys to know on December the 10th, I've been invited to go on the Reality Survivalist show. So with JJ. Yep. And so I'm kind of a little bit out of what I would normally do a little bit, but I'm pretty excited about that. And we'll see what kind of comes from it. But yeah, Nature is the Answer is the name of Corey's show. Yeah. And so I'm pretty cool. I think that's pretty exciting. I'm got a lot coming up as far as to do that kind of stuff. But
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Rich says the guy David is awesome. Yeah, he really is awesome. He's very articulate, and again, he's an educator. And I've invited him on to here in a couple of weeks. He's going to come on my channel, and we're going to talk about the education systems and what they're doing in their private schools, how that relates to community, and what are the steps that we can take to take back some of our educational system. And so that will be on. That'll be on that'll be on the list. Something else I'm getting ready to go do tomorrow, and I'm actually kind of nervous about it, guys, to be honest. Let me get all the way to the slide, and I put this up here so I could show you guys. I'm not going to do it live, and I'm not going to do it live because I'm concerned about the content of the video because of what it's all about. And so I'm going to film it with her and then go through and edit it. And if everything's okay, I'll post it. But if it's not, I won't. But I thought I'd share this to you guys. So this was in 2022. And this is a newspaper article from the Associated Press. And it says, "Man taught bomb-making person targeting authorities" is the headline. But if you go into the article itself, excuse me, it says a North Carolina man who runs a company that teaches military tactics to everyday citizens has been charged with showing someone how to make a bomb that would kill people in federal law enforcement, and U.S. Department of Justice announced Monday. The charges stem from a visit that an unnamed person made to Christopher Arthur's home in May, during which Arthur offered instructions for making those types of devices. At least that's what the feds are saying. But Arthur had already been on their radar. That's when police found multiple tactical instructions written by Arthur in the home of a man who had just been killed in a shootout. Keep going here. The man who was killed was identified in courts as Joshua whatever. I'm gonna paraphrase some of this. But when they began to investigate this guy, they basically found, see where it says it here, they found some documents with instructions on them that they tie back to this place. But let me see here. Where's that?
To his place.
Yeah, to the person in question's place. The FBI later found in his vehicle in Virginia and more at home, along with firearms and other kind of things. Besides finding the manuals that Arthur wrote, a review of the guy that was in the shootout cell phone indicated that he trained with Arthur in North Carolina. And so anyway, to make a long story short, so Arthur runs this company called Tackleberry Solutions in Mount Olive. And basically the FBI raided his house, arrested him. He's been in jail for 2 years. Now, he didn't do anything.
Sheesh.
He was an instructor. They're claiming he was teaching people how to make bad things. And that's the crime, and that they're going to throw the book at him. But anyway, his wife contacted me, and again, he's in jail, right? But his wife contacted me and asked if she could tell her story. So I want to be very careful with this because of what the topic is, but I want to listen to her because she says a lot of this is made up, isn't true, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, so I'm going to film that video tomorrow morning, and then we'll see what happens. So I'm not 100% sure I'll release it, but just depends on how it comes up. But anyway, that's what I'm going to go work on.
Wow.
What do you think about all that?
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. So just, kind of just summarize. So he was doing some tactical training, and apparently this guy took some of that information. One of the students went and took this information, got in a shootout with the feds. When they went to his phone, they found that he had trained with this guy at his training facility at a business, trained with this guy. And then they raided his house, and they found things like tannerite and stuff like that. And they said that now he's a terrorist. They took him, threw him in prison.
But it's not illegal to have tannerite.
No, I know it's not. And I'm going to ask these questions to her because I'm going to make sure I talk about both sides of the story. I don't know what the truth is. I wasn't there, but anyway, I really want to hear what she has to say. But Let me see here. Big B says our tax dollars train terrorists every day. Thanks to the CIE. Yeah. Why are they picking on private companies? Yeah, it is a two-tiered system, and again, this is why I want to hear her story. I want to hear what she has to say, because her version, I've already talked to her once, but her version of what actually transpired and what's on the Associated Press and CNN are very different. You know what I mean? Like they talk about that they found him with explosive devices, when what she says is no, it was a couple boxes of tannerite. Right. And so it's the interpretation of that.
Yes.
Did she say why she reached out to you? Yeah. So I met her through Neethi, the pharmacist, who is the contact, and she just asked if she could tell her story. And so like I said, I'm gonna be very careful, because obviously the topic is pretty heavy. But if I can tell the story in a way that I think is okay, then we're gonna run with it. But hey, YouTube just let me know we're live. How cool is that? An hour and 10 minutes in.
Good.
Pretty neat, huh? They say that anyone that believes in the Constitution is a terrorist. Yeah, this is why I want to talk to her. I don't know, again, what the whole story is, but I'm actually going to put the news article up on the screen and actually ask her about each one of those, accusations. But here's the thing, guys, is there's a lot of people who have been rubbed out because they speak the truth and because they speak those things, So we'll see. We'll see what happens, to it. But anyway, that's coming up. I'm going to do that tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Did you see that Biden today, I found this so fascinating, was joking with some blue collar workers about how his nuclear briefcase, that they carry everywhere with him,
okay,
that he had the ability to blow up the world.
Oh my gosh.
He was joking about that today. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is a great point too. Look at the little boy from the Chiefs game. Only showed one side of his face and it exploded with the tards. Didn't show the whole thing. Yeah, they don't show the whole thing.
I did see that.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, what a mess. What a mess. Rickster says tannerite's great for removing tree stumps. The feds must have asked him how to saw off a barrel. Yeah, I'm not sure what all happened. And again, if you guys, Tackleberry Solutions was the name of the company. You can Google it. And there's all kinds of articles from, Associated Press, CNN, Fox News.
And this was from 2 years ago.
That's from 2 years ago that lays off the charges, but she can't get anyone to even publicize her case.
Right.
Nobody will take it.
Right.
And so she's going on all these little channels,
So I wonder if you Google her, if she'll be.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot about her, but we're going to find out. Leather Homestead says, I hope you don't get in a bind if you put that out. Yeah, I'm going to be very careful, Leather, for the exact same reasons you're saying that. And I already knew that going into it. So first I'm going to just film it. And then this is why I won't do it live, is exactly this reason right here, because I can't control anything. If I film it, I can edit it. I can do all of those things before I put it out. But I think we should absolutely hear her side of the story. And again, I'm going to ask her the hard questions, because at the end of the day, and I'll say this super clear and to the point. If there's people out there building stuff like that with the purpose of, hurting law enforcement, you're wrong. That's not the answer. And that's not the way. We don't need to fight them. We need to ignore them. People are getting ads. Pet insurance. Yeah, certainly wouldn't believe AP or CNN. I'm glad you're giving her a chance to tell her side. Yeah, me too. And you guys know this about me. I kind of like this thing. In that people who stand up and who go through those, I want to hear those stories.
The underdogs.
Yeah, I want everyone to hear those stories. But again, I will be, Leather Homestead, I will be very careful, I promise you. And if you never see it, you'll know why. Right? Because but if I can find a way to get her to tell her story and show a non-biased perspective, right? Because I'm going to show both sides of it. Then I think it would be good for everybody, I think. Midwest Ribeye said he got a Trump ad. Yep. When Nito's got a Turtle Twins ad. Well, those are all at least decent ads, right? Oh, and Jules got pet insurance. I don't know why they're putting ads in the middle of a live. It's the dumbest thing.
I didn't know that.
I seen it when I was setting up the live. They won't let me change it now.
What, it says ads are allowed? Or what?
Yeah, well, what it used to say is you could pick between ads at the beginning, ads at the end, skippable ads, non-skippable ads, and you could pick whether you wanted a midstream ad. It used to be that way, but now I can't pick. My only choice is to turn monetization off. If I turn monetization off, there'll be no ads, which maybe that's what we need to do because we don't make any money on it anyway. But oh, you got to support Black-owned business holiday. That's cool. What would you do if you were the guy with your finger on the nuclear button and you get the call? President Biden says, "Go ahead and push it." Oh my goodness. Tag, you're making money. Laugh out loud ad. I don't know what I would do, Drummond's Live. And we're not making any money, guys. I promise you. It's not like that. Yeah, any of you guys curious how much money people actually make on YouTube or how much we make? Because I'll actually show you if you guys are interested.
I thought you already did that.
I don't know if I did it or not, but I would actually show them. Tractor Supply. Yeah. I don't care. Just skip it if you don't like it. Yeah, I agree. Maybe I'm just paranoid, but Tag, have you vetted her? See, herself might be trying to make a way into your life. Feds are sneaky in every way. Yeah, but see, here's the thing is first of all, Ghetto, I've got nothing to hide. And the other thing is I'm not going to go at this from an government perspective. I want to hear, I want to hear her story. I want to hear what it was, and, I'll make it very, very clear that I wouldn't condone anything like that because I would not condone anything like that. That's not my life. And you guys have heard my message a million times. We do not have to fight them. We have to ignore them, period. And so I wouldn't condone any of those things. Yeah.
Well, and he went out and that guy was shooting people, right?
Well, not him, one of his students.
Right. The guy that was in the shootout or whatever.
Right.
He was harming other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, got a Temu commercial. Yep, guys. Like I said, I may never even put it out. We'll just see what happens, and if it's fishy and they're digging and pushing, I'll just stop it, and that'll be the end of that. Anyone hear anything more about the heat vests the government brought about 18 months ago? Goes under a suit, plain clothes. I am concerned for all the young men coming into our country, or maybe the IRS. Yeah.
We saw a video about
10 million illegal immigrants have entered our country this year.
Yeah, because
20
said
million.
20 million in the last 2 years.
Less.
20 million.
Yeah.
In the last 2 years that they don't even know where they're at.
Yeah.
They don't have any kind of record of where they're at.
Yeah. Okay. Monetization. Let me see if I can find it.
But they were assisting them in getting in.
Okay. Let's try that one. Monetization. Oh, it's on analytics. All right, I'm going to show you guys. Okay. Because KY Goatman wants to know how much you make on YouTube. So what I thought I would do with your guys' permission.
You're going to pick a video?
No, I'm just pick the last video. So I did the video, Corey from Nature is the Answer. And let's see if I can get it up here.
Which was, how long was that?
Video analytics.
Was it an hour long?
Yeah.
An hour and 23 minutes.
Okay. So right here, guys, this is my analytics from that page. So this has been out a little bit. And it was live. So these views are after the live. Okay. 26 hours of watch time. I've made $2.54. That's what I made to do that hour-long video.
An hour and a half.
An hour and a half video. Anyway, now you know. Look at that. I don't do super chats anymore after I learned how much they take from the creators. They charge tax on a super chat too. Yeah. I hear another 24,000 Chinese are on their way here. Well, I'm concerned about, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit too. Oh my God, we haven't gotten into any of it. About what can be coming over the border, what kind of flus and what kinds of, stuff from there, because the borders are flooded. I seen a video of, and I can't verify it, but a video of what the Texas government is claiming that the feds are cutting the barbed wire to let them in. Because that there's that fight between Texas and the, and the borders, Asylum is one thing, unlawful entry is another. Guys, I am not anti-immigrant in any sort of way. There's got to be a system, and the system needs rebuilt, much like our justice system needs rebuilt, just much like...
Well, you can't just let anybody come on in and then just allow them to go wherever they choose with, I think that home of the free, that doesn't...
Yeah, a couple of large poultry plants are bringing them in from Somalia and building apartments. This is firsthand information. I've seen them and spoken to a couple of managers. Yeah, it's a mess. And I think they're really trying to destroy what's left. You know, let me see. If you are demonetized, will you get super chat revenue? I don't think so. I think if you're demonetized, you're not getting any of it.
Yeah.
And I don't really care about it all that much because, again, like I showed you guys, it's a lot of work to put out a video. And if I put 2 videos out a week and I make $2.54 on each video, I made $5 and spent 8 hours of my life to make $5. What's that per hour?
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, he said, I wouldn't be mind making $2. Yeah, but it's just not a very good use of energy if that's what you're doing it for, KY Goatman. Because again, to make that video, you see is an hour and a half, but to make it takes 3 hours. Right? So there's just no money in it.
Well, that's on that one.
Yep, Chinese man in the biolab in California. Wow, at least he was cut. Yeah, that was a big deal, wasn't it? Yeah, super big deal. I wonder if I can get rid of that. Maybe after the thing. Okay. Anyway, so we did that. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's get to some topics for the night, huh? Got to get back to the beginning. Now, real quick, I want to share with you guys my progress on what I've been working on Pod 4, just so you guys can see it, because I've been kind of keeping you abreast. So I'm building this wall unit in here.
Get some storage.
She gets some storage. Now, this is actually one unit, but because it's
so
super
long,
I had to take it into 2 pictures. But so anyway, I've been working on building this unit. It's nothing special, but I just thought this is what I've spent the last little bit of time trying to put together.
And what, $400 in wood?
Yeah. So let's talk about some silly things, right? So
is he sleeping?
Yeah, it looks like he's sleeping. So do you guys, this came out 2 weeks ago, and this is very important that you know this was 2 weeks ago. So this is an article that says U.S. economy is doing well under Biden, but Americans don't believe it. And I think this is a super interesting ad, because if you actually look, I want to share some other information that came out the exact same time. Okay, remember that was 2 weeks ago, right? So that would make it the 18th. So between November 12th and the 18th, several banks have filed for to close branch locations, with PNC Bank with the most filings. According to the data from the U.S. Office of Comptroller of the Currency, Pittsburgh-based PNC Bank filed for 19 branch closures, 5 in Pennsylvania, 4 in Illinois, 3 in Texas, and 2 each in Alabama and New Jersey, and 1 each in Indiana, Ohio, and Florida. J.P. Morgan Chase followed closely with 18 filings. Citizen Bank came in third with 8 filings. Bank of America made 5 filings. Citibank filed for 2 branches, and all of them together, between November the 12th and the 18th, 64 branches have closed their doors. And I think this is just such an interesting thing. If you dig into it a little bit further, according to the data of the S&P, there were 3,012 branch closures last year. 3,000 banks closed their doors last year, with 958 openings. So that means a net closure, they lost 2,000 banks. And this was the 3rd consecutive year that the net closings exceeded 2,000. Now, they go in to talk about how they're blaming COVID for it and online banking basically for it in this article. But this was the PNC Bank closure and the actual addresses. But what I found interesting about this is that at the time, the chief financial officer, Robert Q. Riley, revealed that the institution was boosting the target of an expense reduction program by $50 million for PNC Bank is targeting $725 million in expense cuts.
Gosh.
That's a lot, right?
That's a lot.
So in June, PNC shut down 47 branches, followed by 29 closures in August. Let me see here. Last month, the bank reported a drop in third quarter profits and declared cutting roughly 4% of its workforce. The layoffs, which began on October 6th, will be completed by the end of the fourth quarter. The job cuts are expected to bring down the bank's yearly personal expenses by roughly $325 million, or 5%. What I find so interesting about this is when you add it to this. So recently, the FCC, and if you look at the date on this, 11/26, so this was just the other day, right?
Yep, last week.
Okay. Yep. Life with Mike and Jen, you are all over it. I was just making all the connections right here, okay? So the FCC votes to seize American internet infrastructure to promote equity. The FCC voted in favor for a new set of rules called the Preventing Digital Discrimination Order that recommends for legal implementation a slew of new browsing restrictions that will forever change the way people interact with the online world. Okay, so the FCC voted for this. This is they've already said this is what they're doing. The 200-page report proposes the implementation of a slew of new internet restrictions stemming from Section 6506 of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act of 2021. Okay, so this is super, super, super important, but don't worry, you guys, right? Because this still has to be approved by the president.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So it certainly won't get past the president, right? It goes on to talk about how anything online considered to be a violation of equity will be censored and controlled. Equity is a super, super important word. And this agreement that the FCC is doing actually is so vague, it pretty much gives them complete control of the internet.
Yeah.
So if this channel, Tag and Be at Lifetime Free, for example, doesn't offer equity, okay, they'll have the right to shut it down. But based on a vague language of a new report, there's almost nothing that could not somehow be contorted into constituting a violation of equity, meaning the government will now have free reign to silence online speech. Right? And I can go on and on in this article, but the bottom line is don't worry about it. The president will never sign it, except President Biden has called on the FCC to adopt new rules of breathtaking scope. Those rules would give the federal government a roving mandate to micromanage nearly every aspect of how the internet functions. And guys, this is super important, and Life with Mike and Jen hit it right on the head, is the reason why they're pushing the banks down is because they don't need them anymore.
Yep. In
an effort to move to the digital dollar. And once they get to the digital dollar, they need control of the internet. And did you guys know while you guys were having Thanksgiving turkey, right, as you were sitting down at your home and enjoying your family, behind the scenes, what happened is the FCC also agreed to make many of the banks tax exempt. Okay, so now you got to follow the pieces. So they say, hey, banks, you got to close these branches. We want to head to the digital dollar. And the banks say, hey, we've got way too much money to invest this. We're going to lose all of our money. And so they say, okay, what if we make you tax free? Right? Ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Okay, I missed a whole bunch. So I'm going to go back here real quick. Hey, Porterhouse, what's up, bud? Eric, you guys, there's a great channel. You guys should certainly go check it out. Hakersake says, proof is in the pudding. The economy is so good. Why are American people not experiencing it? Yeah, well, they're just trying to get you to believe it, right? Naturally, they're going to push the crap, even though the states don't want it. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Great. So I might not be able to finish my Starship. Nope, you will not. Let me see what we got here. But you know, when the thing in 2000 happened, the first thing some of the big banks did was move the headquarters to Guyana. What does he mean by Guyana? I don't know what that is. I must be slow tonight. Anyway, Conserve Friends, what's up? It says under Biden, all department and agencies pass their own rules, and then it's treated as law. 100% agree. Yeah, barter town for everyone that wants to be as free and as much as possible. Yeah, and the problem is the logistics of that are hard too, right? Oh, China, he said. Okay, got it. He said Guyana. Sorry, I'm slow tonight, Kate. Kentucky Goat Man. Thanks for hooking a brother up. Right. So, I think as the system is continuing to fall apart, you're going to see more and more absurd stuff like this. But I think this is absolutely proof that they're moving more and more into the digital dollar, which, guys, it won't stop there. It's not just that. It's also the ESG, the environmental, socialist, and governance score. And the proof of that is going back to their efforts to control the internet is over equity, right? It's all about equity. So they're going to be able to pick the winners and losers. Now, we get to do some of that too, which is great. But it's all 100% about that. I got some interesting numbers for you guys. You guys want some challenges tonight? Okay. What do you suppose these numbers represent? I'll tell you. So did you guys know today, just today, that we added $61 billion to our national debt today?
Is that a daily?
No. That's a huge number, babe.
So today,
for a day.
So today was excessive.
Yeah, that was excessive, which put our debt at $33.82 trillion. Okay. And what's interesting about it is it crossed 33 trillion in September. So from September to now, we've almost gained another trillion dollars in debt
since September.
Isn't that just insane? Isn't that just insane? Like, to me, that's like, there is no way out of this, guys. They're not band-aiding their way out of this.
I don't know how you can get out of that.
You don't get out of it. What you got to do is you've got to devalue the currency to such a level that the debt doesn't matter.
Right.
And that's what they're going to have to do. The problem is, guess who gets to pay for it? Guess who's going to take the hurt of what they're going to have to do in order to get out from underneath that? Yeah, that's you and me. It's just absolutely insane. Yeah, Rickster says Biden gave Iran $6 billion this week. Yep, ACM, there you go, buddy. You're 100% right. That is debt. Printing money again. It is absolutely crazy to me that they continue to do this. I mean, there is absolutely no way out of this. And people can sit with your head in the sand all you want. There is no way out of this. The only way they can do this is they've got to devalue the currency. And in devaluing the currency, the answer is, okay, let's get rid of the dollar. And so maybe the new digital dollar is a brand new currency. It's not a dollar at all. Because then they can completely devalue the dollar and make it worth almost nothing. Now, there's some benefits to this, because if it works for them, it works for you, right? It makes paying a mortgage off a whole lot easier. But all of it, there you go. Love runs rampant. It is all going to you and I. Yeah, just to service the interest alone is untenable. Yeah, 100%.
Right.
100%. They cannot continue this, But the administration thinks they can spend their way out of it. They can't. It's a mess. The Senate, I think, permanently froze all Iranian assets. I read that too. But just like the feds are down in Texas cutting the fences to let, the illegal immigrants cross the border, the Senate may have froze them, but will the administration listen to it?
Right.
Yep, they don't care about the debt because they don't plan to pay it off. Right. See, this is a huge point, Drummond's in life. Huge point.
Well, that makes sense.
The Arab Emirates said they would not take dollars for oil anymore. Yeah, it's all coming to crash. I know a little bit about this, not necessarily from a government perspective, from a company perspective. When a company's on its last leg and they know trouble is coming, you'll see them throw Hail Marys, right? And our government's no different. And so they will also throw Hail Marys in an effort, to get those things under control. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely meant. The Hunter Coke bill came in.
Oh.
Yep. Jules said the UAE just did their first oil trade in the yuan. Yeah, we're in so much trouble. Okay, I have a serious question. If they devalue the currency and everything is reset, can they reset the value of gold and silver and make it worthless? The answer is yes. 100% the answer is yes, because they've done it before. You go back into history, they even made gold illegal to own. Right? And they can just say, hey, here's the deal, guys. So we're going to get rid of the dollar, but in an effort to protect it, if you turn your gold in, I'll give you the IOU. If you don't turn your gold in, it's a felony.
Yeah.
Right? Which they've done this in the past.
And it'll be illegal to own.
Yeah, they've absolutely done this in the past. The only great thing about devaluing currency is if you have debt. So let's say you owe $200,000 on a mortgage, for example, and they devalue it almost to nothing, then it will take almost nothing to pay the debt off, except they'll never let the little guy out like that. They'll come out with some law that says, no, the value of the mortgage needs to be converted to the new currency based upon, right. They'll go through all that.
Yeah, theirs will be
wiped out, but yours will not be wiped out. Right. Right. There are more trains packed with them on the way now. Yes, there is. The regime has been the ones bringing these people here. Yeah. And I've been reading more and more about that. Right. The Bible says that people will throw their gold and silver in the streets. Yep. See, I actually agree with this. Dragonfly. I agree with this because I think they'll just change the rules. Right. Texas should have arrested the feds for destroying property. They absolutely should have, but they didn't, did they? But will other sovereign nations also devalue their gold? See, I think the answer to this question is yes, because I think that the only way they get to a one world economy, a true one world economy, is with a one world dollar or whatever you want to call it, right? Electronic, whatever you call it. And so everybody will have to play ball, because I think ultimately the goal of this, I used to make fun of people who believe this, but I think the ultimate goal is that new world order and the one world government, and the people at the top control it all, that there is no borders. We shall see, right? Jules said gold is going to be reset for the first time, probably at the end of the year. Let me see. That went, we need to buy the things we need, riches on our land and house. Yeah, I spend my money. I don't invest in things like that anymore. I put it in my house and my land and hard assets, which I think is what you should be doing. Yeah, Richter said the government's outlawed gold 3 times.
3 times.
Yep.
Did you know that?
I didn't know there was 3. Please look at the entire context of the passage, says Jules. Okay.
About throwing the gold in the streets.
How can you arrest people? I don't understand the question. You understand what he's asking? I do not. Apparently I'm slow tonight. Yeah. Well, other things in the news. You guys ready for some other things in the news today that I found interesting?
Yes.
So this was interesting. So Denver Health Medical Team receives the Ebola vaccine. According to hospital officials, the team became some of the first people to receive the live Ebola vaccine for preventative measures in case of a future outbreak. What do you think about that, Pumpkin?
Glad it wasn't me.
Yep. I thought that was interesting. Why would they be preparing for Ebola in Denver? Pretty interesting. This one was interesting too. Did you guys, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Brazil and Venezuela look like they're headed to war. And why this matters is because the powers that be that need to bring the United States down to its knees have got us into Ukraine and into Israel with the threat of China and now this. And so as you divide those forces, it's a great way to weaken a country. But these were 3 articles. And if you look at the times, guys, these are not old. 5 hours ago, 3 hours ago, and 1 day ago, right? Brazil bolsters military presence on the border with Venezuela. And so be expecting to see another front open up in now South America. So you'd have them, pretty much in Europe. You'd have them in the Middle East, potentially in Asia. And now in South America, it looks like World War III is well on its way. What else we got here? Oh, this was interesting. And a lot of you guys might already know about this, but did you guys know, and I don't know how well you can see it, but if you look right up here,
They can't see your cursor.
Oh, you can't see my cursor.
At the top of the black part of this.
Yeah, it actually gives a date. And so this was 2 months before the coronavirus came out.
Okay, what is it?
So they did, if you look in here, so the fictional coronavirus, let me just go up to the top. In October of 2019, right? So this is before the big coronavirus. A group of 15 business people, government officials, and health experts gathered around a table in New York to plan out the global response to a worldwide outbreak that had never been seen and completely fictional coronavirus. It was a training exercise with disturbing similarities in retrospect to the 2019 COVID virus, the Chinese virus that swiftly gone global this month. 3.5 hours later, the group finished the simulation exercise, and despite their best efforts, they couldn't prevent the hypothetical coronavirus from killing 65 million people. This is the part that I find interesting right here, though. The fictional coronavirus at the epicenter in the Event 201 simulation. So if you guys are curious about this and you want to go into this anymore, Google the Event 201 simulation. And there's lots of videos that shows how they went through it, all of that. A collaboration between, and this is important, Johns Hopkins Center for Health and Security, the World Economic Forum, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It was called CAPS, and it started with pigs in Brazil before spreading to farmers, not unlike how the 2019 COVID reportedly began with animals before spreading to people. But what's interesting about this is that up here when they talk about, see over here it says 15 business people, government officials, and health experts gathered around the table in New York to plan out a global response. One of the head doctors there was someone pretty important. So this person, which if you guys know Mandy Cohen is recently been elected as the CDC director. And so I did some digging into her, and her net worth since COVID, prior to COVID, was just a few $1 million. And today is over $35 million. And so she was one of the head doctors at the table during this exercise, and she's now been tapped as of June 16th of this year as the new CDC director. Isn't that interesting? And then she went on to say just recently that hospitals are reporting an increase of cases of the flu, COVID, and RSV. This is going on right now. And so she's the lady that participated in all of this, whose income has quadrupled.
The triple-demic.
Yeah, the triple-demic is what they're calling it. Yeah.
is in full swing.
Is in full swing. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Triple-demic.
How it's kind of all kind of. Oh, I think I'm gonna.
So what? It was the flu.
Yeah.
COVID and
RBS.
Which
right.
I'm seeing a lot of commercials for RSV and older people.
Yeah, but you guys read about that planning event because there's a lot of similarities. And then I found this today that Republicans warn lockdowns coming as China pneumonia spreads.
China pneumonia.
Yeah, so in China they have that respiratory thing going on with all the kids, making all the kids sick, but it's showing up in lots and lots of countries now. And so now they're warning of, here you go. Jen says white lung now. Yep, of course they are. It's winter time, and those are all normal in the winter. Yep, I agree. Yep, Fauci predicted COVID in 2017. Yes, he did. Yep, Brandon House talked about this last week. Scary. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is how they get rid of the animals, farmers altogether. Yep, it's called white lung. Yeah, and I've heard that as well. Are there earthly money won't buy their way out of hell? Yep. Now it's in Ohio too. Yep. And so a lot of people are saying that they're expecting this. We're going to go through this whole thing all again. So what do we do about that? If you knew you were headed to another lockdown, and let's say that lockdown was going to last another year, what would you do different right now? What would you change? I need to buy more wood.
Yeah. Some wood, some oregano, garlic.
Yeah. Well, the other thing everyone has to keep in mind is what also starts right now. What's really, really big starting right now?
Holiday gatherings.
All the lead up to the election in November.
Oh, well, yeah, that too.
You're 11 months.
Yeah.
Right? When we cross the first year, 12 months before I guess right at the end of November, but you're a year out now. So it doesn't, if you guys look back at how COVID broke out, right? And it started slow, and then, they're going to have, right? If they're going to.
So buckle up, guys. We're in for it, is what you're saying.
Okay, so now add all of this to the digital dollar, to all the bank closings, to the economics, and how do you feel about, Mr. Biden saying that the economy is good? The Americans just don't believe it.
Yeah.
There you go. Bruce the man says we're ready. Dragonfly, where's he at? Right there. So the timeline is lining almost perfectly with the start in 2019, right before the election. That's right. Because you remember that all happened right before the election.
Right before the election.
That put Biden in office.
Yes.
And right here we go again. So we need to be prepared. We need to be thinking about these things. The insiders are saying by January. Yep. Ghetto says, I ain't doing anything different. Election season. Yep. Tag, the news, I'm assuming tonight, said Utah has the highest rate of those three in the nation. Funny thing is, on the local levels, there's no new cases. They have to stop. They have to plan to stop the election already, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, they've got to know that it's going to be well, no, that's not true. I mean, there's nobody that can convince me Biden was the most, popular president in the history of the world. I mean, so.
No, the numbers show it.
Right. Just had a report pop up on my phone about white lung. Cell phone is listening. Look at that.
Yes.
Yep. We know that, right?
Yes.
Crazy. The elections still repeat. That is why I didn't bother trying to go back to work. Just have to work hard and live as free as possible. Yeah, but I think it's interesting, like for me, what would I do different? I'm not really going to do anything different because we're living it every day. But if I'm going to be locked up for a year, let's just say that happened. And not really locked up because I'm not barely going to listen to it. But if you can't get things or whatever it is, maybe it'd be good to, put a couple stacks of wood out there. Maybe it'd be good to do some of that stuff so that, there's plenty to keep you busy.
No, to keep you busy too, but to also keep you healthy. So you got to, you're in the wintertime, we're outside less. So we're in the sun less. We're in the fresh air less. We're in, our activity is less. We're eating more sugar during the winter, because you could throw that Johnny cake into the oven and it's, 30 minutes later, it's nice and toasty and delicious. But, things that you can do, keep up on your health. Yeah. Get your cardio, get your vitamins
and work on
your food.
I would argue work on your attitude.
That was my next.
If,
your mindset.
If the suck comes, right, and how we embrace that and how we deal with that.
Yeah. Do you take it out on your loved ones who are in the same house as you?
Yeah. Right.
and put them in a bad mood. And then you go to Walmart and you put that girl in a bad mood and continue to increase that cycle of the ball getting bigger at the end of the day of everybody mad around you. And
Carrie Davis says that it's the perfect storm. And I think with the potential of the new pandemic and the election coming up and the economy crashing all the way around us, we have wars now and people that are dying in the Ukraine and in Israel and in now Venezuela. And, we're talking about that all ripening up. There's some of that conflict going on in Africa now. There's arguments going on in Europe and some of the old Baltic states that could easily be turned over. It is a big shit sandwich.
And then we got all the foreigners being let
into
the country
let's not forget,
on our own land.
10 million this year. Not to mention that just this month they added almost another $1 trillion to the debt. Guys, the picture that, they say that at the fall of every civilization that it gets more absurd as it goes on. And there's a lot going on right now. And I'm not doom and gloom. I mean, live your life, be as free as you can live. It's not that at all. It's
we want you to be free.
Yeah. LJC says we won't be spending another lockdown in New Mexico. Good. You see, they have a backup plan too with war. Then the crazy man can postpone it for however long he wants. Yeah, the elections, I think is what he's talking about. He can postpone the election. We may not even get that.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Which has never been done, right? Has that ever been done in history? Has it ever been delayed or postponed?
Yes, in other countries' history. So
I'm talking about the United States.
Yeah, like in the Ukraine, they just did it. But did you know that during the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln, they still held the election during the middle of the Civil War. Now, Ghetto said our egos are too big. I don't think the lockdowns are just because our politics. Big chess pieces are at play. Our election is a distraction. I actually agree with that. But man, if they postpone the election, the outcome. Dragonfly Ryan says you better get your TP now. And this is kind of what I was talking about. Is do you have everything stored up for a year? Are you in good shape for a lot of those things? Because like food, we don't really have to leave for food.
Well, we're not extracting milk from anything, so.
Yep, you have plenty of trees for wood tag. I'm trying not to cut my trees down, but maybe. The scary scenario is if the next one is actually a legit illness. Yes, because this is such a good point.
Right.
Is that because of what they did with COVID, nobody's going to want to take a vaccine now.
Well, right? That's why I say you have to take your own health into your hands, by eating the things that are healthy for you and what works with your body. And
but I think to her point, what's so important about that is maybe that was the plan all along.
Right.
Get us where we won't do it. Then they can say, look, we did all we could do and you refused to do it. It's not our fault.
We've talked about this.
Create a catastrophe, create the solution, right? Never let a good crisis go to waste.
I was just going to say.
Yeah. We have been killing millions in Yemen for years and no one speaks about it. We've been killing millions everywhere for years and no one really speaks about it. Stock up on oil filters and coffee and close the gate. Now that has to be a Mike comment. Don't forget your gasoline and your tires.
Got a spare in the trailer.
Do you think metals are a waste of time? I think metals are probably a waste of time. I mean, it's a great way to store wealth. It usually travels along inflation, but the problem is they manipulate it so much. And just like we talked about earlier, leather, that they're I've outlawed it in the past. I would own some. I own some now, but I wouldn't put a ton in it. I'd much rather own land. I'd much rather own,
a new toilet,
assets, or whatever it is. What did Amy say? Doesn't show them 25 hours after receiving the Ebola vaccine. Doesn't. Yeah, it didn't show anything about that. I just found it interesting that they're doing it. Yeah. Censorship of the truth is next, right, YouTube? Yes, it is. It's 100%, which is why I found it interesting that the FCC came out with the rule that over equity, they could censor, and Biden had called for this, so he will certainly sign it. Yeah, can't. Oh my goodness, guys, I'm so far behind. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to skip towards the end. Mr. Gates was quoted as saying the next one will really get their attention. Yep, and then chaos will ensue. He says it's Mike's snoring.
What's that good foot rub?
Yeah. Doggone, all this is making me hungry. Yeah, I'm kind of hungry too. Yeah. Let me see what else I had in here for us to talk about tonight. Here's an interesting one. Right now, remember, the economy's great, right? Biden said that, right? We've got an incredible housing market, for example. Would you agree? Would you agree?
No.
Okay. Housing market, and this was just came out 5 hours ago. The U.S. housing market faces worst downturn since 2008 as sales plunged to a record low.
Oh, where was this?
This just posted today. I can't see it all that well. But anyway, what's interesting about an article like this, we've been talking about this. You can't raise interest rates because at that rate, because what happens is then nobody wants to sell. This is the outcome of it, right? Because people say, I'm not going to sell my house that I'm in a 2%, or 3%
buy
loan.
One that's a 10.
To go buy one that's 7, 8, or 9, or 10. And so the availability of houses dries up, right? So
because there's no houses for sale.
Yeah. So now you have not very many houses for sale, and you have high interest rates. And because you have not very many houses for sale, it drives those prices up. So now you got both of them you're fighting.
Ooh.
Right? And so people just aren't buying. And so we're going to see, I think, a downturn. But guys, this will certainly create an opportunity, for people. See, I found a property with a duplex on it. As an older person, I thought about getting it and having like-minded renters. It sold almost overnight. I actually think that's a great idea. There's a lot of people out there who, for whatever reason, can't buy because prices are so high because of whatever. But I think that's a great idea. Biden is a puppet as much as Trump is. We're on our own, people. F the system and their games. We need people to stand firm. This I agree with 100%. Jen says I need to bake. It's good therapy. When she bakes, it's good therapy for me. Yeah. Yep. I don't know about that. I get Redfin ads in my email at least 10 times a day, and a lot of them are selling quickly. Yeah, here's the thing. They are going to sell quickly because there's not a lot of them out there. And
right.
This article is mainly referring to the East and the West Coast. What's something that happens down the center of the United States, Jules, even where you live into Texas and a lot of places like that, is they're usually slow to follow, right? But Eric Porterhouse and Teal, you guys go check out that channel. Great guy. You have a good night, bud. Other stories have come out saying that there is a shortage of houses for sale. Hopefully that is true because mine is on the market as of this past Monday. Good for you. It'll sell. Let me see here. All of those places bought by BlackRock and such are not being listed. They're holding them.
Right.
Yeah, and I actually think there was what is his name? The guy that built Amazon. Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Bezos, his investment firm is trying to buy up a bunch of land, a bunch of properties right now too. Jules says each ad has 30 listings. Yeah, is that all over? Or is that just in Texas? When the weather is bad, I like to make sweets. Yeah, when the weather is bad, I like to eat sweets. Some people who have been looking to buy are getting fed up and giving up because when they put a contract in, people come in and pay cash and get the house. Yeah. Jeff Bezos acquires $500 million worth of single. Yep, this is what I was talking about right here. Pat, you are such a beast. You know that? You are on top of it. Jeff Bezos acquires $550 million worth of single-family homes. The Medium website. You can be a fractional landlord for $100. Big equity engineering a nation of leasers. Man. I received a letter this week from Social Security that they're cutting me down to $407 a month. And you know what's so crazy about Social Security? I'm totally going to get on a rant. Is you earned every bit of that. You paid your life in totally. And I guarantee you this. You take all the money you paid into Social Security and give it to me for 10 years. Okay. And you'll never have any of these problems. You don't get back the money you paid in. You don't get a gain on your investment you put in. They've robbed from us. And that's.
But you don't have a choice to not give in, though.
No, you don't.
They take it.
That's right. And that's going to get worse, too, because what's going to happen, I'm going to go on another rant, is they're going to come out with this digital currency, right?
Right.
And they're going to tie it to equity, which we demonstrated in here today, right? And they're also going to tie it to your tax rates. And so the days of filing taxes in my opinion, are almost over. It'll come out automatically.
They're going to file your taxes for you?
No, they won't have to file them because now they'll be able to track every single purchase.
It all.
Right. So they'll take it out at the time of sale.
Wow.
It will automatically come out.
Oh, how convenient. That'll be so great for us all.
It is going to be so great for us all, isn't it? Ghetto says, I watched a film today about D-Day as I sat and watched Stalin and Eisenhower smile and laugh with each other before the invasion. And to me, it spoke volumes on how they don't give an F about us. No, I mean, could you imagine sending all those people that, hundreds of thousands that aren't going to make it? Tag, what if The Handmaid's Tale is what will happen to America in 20 years? Problem is there's a lot of, what ifs, and I don't know the answer to any of them. I can't hardly even tell anymore. The listens for Kansas, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, and North Carolina. Yeah, so I can't speak to North Carolina, but all of those rest of those right in the Midwest, and we won't see that decrease here. We're going to be a year behind everybody else.
That's normal.
Yep. Let me see. Hey, Tag and B, I've been listening while finishing up the roof on my sawmill shed. Oh, congratulations. Just finishing to sit down and watch your stream. Hey, thanks for being here and congratulations, and I'm glad you guys are doing that. Let me see here. Oh, sorry. You guys are talking to each other. I didn't mean that. Zelensky, I'm assuming from Ukraine, in talks with Russia about terms of Ukraine's surrender. Oh, I didn't see that. Is that on the news somewhere? Starla, where's that coming from? Yeah, where did you see that? Because that would be gigantic news. I have a hard time believing that will happen because I don't think America can let that happen. But I would be super interested to see if there was a link to that somewhere. This was something interesting. I don't think this is true, but I ran across this article that said why the Hunger Games are being banned in the U.S. And I put this in here because B and I have been watching the Hunger Games.
So I tried to turn on that one again, and now it says we cannot watch it without paying for it. So you're allowed to watch it once, and if you fall asleep, you have to subscribe to, it's like a whole new channel, like Showtime. And you have to pay for it. It's a pay channel. So you were allowed to watch it, but you fell asleep. So
this article said from CBR said that it would ban, and it's not banned. I found it all over the place, but I do think it's interesting how it's being considered hate speech, right? That they're attacking it and they're saying, "Hey, this should be a banned book, like 1984 or The Catcher in the Rye or any of those books," which you wouldn't think that would be.
It makes sense though, because there's some crazy stuff that goes on in that movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's insane. I wonder if Starla can tell us.
We haven't seen it all, so we're trying to.
Let me see here.
If we could stay awake.
We got on off-grid dessert farming with Doug and
Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian. Plus, I saw it on the same military news link he has that I have. Yeah, what's that link? Can you put that link in here? Because I would love to read about that.
The military link?
Yeah. Good night, Kentucky Goat Man. Yeah, too many Biden bucks tied up in Ukraine. Yeah, see, I think that's true too. Yeah, love the Hunger Games. Stick it to the man. Yeah, actually, B and I had never watched the whole series. And so B and I started watching it together. So we don't have regular TV. We only have what we get with our internet. So we have, I don't know, what are they, Tubi, and those things that come.
We got Roku for free because we bought a Roku TV.
Yeah, Rich said, I believe that the pole shift will screw the planet by 2040. That's a whole nother thing to add to the list. There's all kinds of information saying something's like that. Oh, look at this. Pack Rat's awesome. Banks' unrealized losses grew to $684 billion
in quarter three.
And yet, if I can find it. Almost there. And yet,
we've had
U.S. economy is doing well under Biden, but Americans don't believe it. And this was on MSNBC, I think, that I took that article off, right?
We had 3 cyber attacks from 3 different banks in the last week.
We did?
Mm-hmm.
On our accounts?
On our, 3 different accounts. We had issues with we're $4,000 at 11:49, and then a $4,000 at 12:04, and then my bank card got. I tried to get gas, and my bank card was shut off because
Ghetto.
I bought a pair of shoes, and the Google machine put a $1 hold on my account, and it turned my bank card off. So I couldn't get gas with my normal bank card because it was denied because of Google for $1.
Love Runs Rampant says, I love the Hunger Games. It's too close to how they want the world to be. You know how they divided in the Hunger Games into factions versus now what they divide us in is to Republican and Democrat and black and white and, you know,
religion and sex
and yeah. And so they divide us into our factions and they, you know, keep us fighting each other.
Yeah.
Right. As they really control everything behind the scenes.
Yep.
Homestead Twin says, I use a power pole for part of the shed. I milled a flat spot for the rafters to sit on. I ran into issues with the band slipping off the guide wheel on my mill.
Oh.
This is funny. Tag said desert farming. Haha, one track mind, dude. Yeah, did I say that wrong up there? I don't know. Oh, desert. Off the grid desert farming. I said dessert.
Desert farming.
Yep. Yeah. We have a whole pile of Biden bucks out back. What's a Biden buck? Let me see here. NOAA and NASA said they increased solar activity is going to increase a year earlier than previously predicted. It's been brought up to next year. There's a lot in 2024. There's a lot of things pointing to it. You guys remember the website dangle.com? I don't know if you remember that, but they predicted a huge die-off in 2024. And this was a big website that, you know, tracked militaries and who had what and all that. And they had shut it down some time ago. But it was around for a long, long time. I don't know if you guys remember that or not. But
I wonder if you had screenshotted some of that, didn't you, back in the day? I wonder if it's still the same.
The increase. Let me see here. They said the increased solar. Yeah, got it. Yeah, got it. Okay. Let me see. B's experience is why I always have cash on me. Yeah. And I think this is what we talked about. So if you knew, right, that we were going to go back down to a lockdown, what would you do different? And I think what I'm trying to push tonight is go do those things.
Yeah.
Right? Because what's the worst that happens? You know, you're right where you are. You don't need it, and it's not a big deal.
Y2K.
Right. I mean, so I think it's a lot bigger than Y2K.
Well, just being prepared and people were planning, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Yeah, right there. The Deagle report, right? This is what I was talking about. That's very fascinating. Big B says this was reported on the 29th, the United States, 1.35 million chickens killed in Ohio egg farm due to bird flu. Yeah.
That's a lot of birds.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just absolute. Oh, he says Biden bucks horse manure. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Mike loses cash. He forgets it in his socks. And let me guess, you do the laundry.
You think it'd come off when he takes his socks off.
Yeah, Pete, good night, buddy. Dragonfly says April 2024 solar storm alignment is supposed to be the same as 79 AD when major Earth shifts took place. Yeah, that's not make me feel good. Get cash, get more meat, preserve, shelf stable, not freezer. I got a lot of work ahead of me. Yeah. But I think this is I think all of this stuff is a great reminder that we need to, stay busy. And you guys remember when Bruce Almighty was driving down the road and he's rubbing his prayer beads?
Show me a sign.
Give me a sign, give me a sign. And he drives by the truck with all the signs in it, but yet he couldn't see them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot going on and there's a lot to be concerned about, but not fear. Don't allow it to get you scared. Get it to tunnel you into focusing your attention on those kinds of things.
Into being productive.
Yeah. I mean, today, when this live is over, sit down and write 5 things you can do. And you notice I use the word can. What are 5 things you can do?
Yeah.
I can go take $20 out of my checking account and, put it in my cash thing. I can go buy me some more toilet paper, whatever it is.
Take some meat out of the freezer and make it shelf stable.
Yeah, can it.
Do your dehydrated or
do
whatever. Now is the time to be dehydrating with the Heidi's videos on putting ground beef because the stove is going. Yes, I've got it.
Are you excited?
Yes, because it's always something that it's like, oh, that's a winter project.
Heidi,
and the stove is going.
Heidi has always got you up with something.
I know, because she's got these great ideas, and they're ideas that I have, and then I'm like, I don't even have to reinvent anything. I can just go watch her video and then pause it and pause it and pause it and pause it. Because I'm like, wait, what did she just say? And I can't write as fast as she is. And then I'm just like, wait, rewind it. What did she say?
Yeah.
Patrick made her a drying rack for her stove.
Yeah. Guys, Rain Country is a channel that will teach you a lot. They're very, very smart.
Yeah, you don't have to reinvent anything.
You probably watch that channel as much as any channel, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I watch it and then I just listen to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Until I'm trying to do like that pie that I watched. I don't know how many times I watched that video and it still didn't turn out. So I made it again and then it didn't turn out. Well, I mean, it was edible.
Yeah.
But they were two totally different textures.
Starla says, Lifetime Free, one is war news 24/7. Okay. War news 24/7. English. Let's see what it says. That's interesting.
English.
Where's I don't see a website. War news 24/7. Al Jazeera comes up. Anyway.
Oh, good eye.
Right? You got to look at that, babe. That's super, super, super important, right?
It says War News 24/7 English translation. So I wonder if.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, okay, where are we at here? Hey, Kelly Ireland, how are you? Biden bucks are a pile of horse crap. Yes, they are. Let me see. Good on you, B. Function stacking. It's going to be hot and dry down in the kitchen anyway.
Yep.
You're all over this, aren't you?
Yeah, that's just something that you can do. Like if you already have, you already have the meat. Yes, it's in the freezer. Yes, it's already there. But if the freezer goes out, then if you can make it shelf stable, and she has lots of videos on dehydrating. So
Heidi's been great and typed up lists of stuff for all of us. So we just have to print them off. Yeah, Rain Country does have great info, Gregory.
So
I put up a feeder to fatten up the wildlife. Oh, yeah, Heidi, if you're still here, B's wanting to know where the print-offs are. I have 4 things on my list already, and buy books with info rather than relying on the internet, which FCC could remove even if the internet's kept working. Oh, they're going to keep the internet working. No, they're not going to take it down, Karen, because this is the thing. It'll make you feel like things are normal, and they want people to have information. They just want them to have the information that they have. So another good thing you can do is just download them on the flash drives. Go buy a whole bunch of flash drives, sit in your house, find an article you like, download it, and then at least you have it somewhere. You could also print it and make your own books, right? Yep, I love Heidi's dehydrating things. I've been watching Rain Country for years, and I love the sewing machine. I just found out my singer from my mother-in-law, RIP, is in the basement, is maybe functional.
Ah.
Bia.
I hope it is.
Got 2 of them last year, right?
Yeah.
Oh, baby, it's 2 hours. Let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah, those dogs are like barking at the.
They're doing something. The dogs are crazy. Hey, so let's talk about parting words. What do you got to say? Got any advice with everything going on in this world and all this craziness? And
my advice, my parting.
You said you were going to talk about honoring your husband and feeding him well first, right?
No, that was next week. This week is mindset.
Okay.
And you wrapping your mind around what you've got and being happy with it. No, mindset, all the things that are difficult that we deal with, things that come up, things that we've already done and that we have broken or we didn't do right and they break or don't stay together. Or
when the system doesn't cooperate.
Right. And they make it more difficult. And then we have to jump through hoops that, we shouldn't have to. It's mindset. If you can endure the suck and next it, then not only is it pleasant for the people around you, but it really does just make you at peace with what you cannot control. I mean, there's all kinds of things that go on that I can tally up in my head and get real angry about or frustrated and start throwing things or yelling. And but that's not healthy for the people around me, and it's not healthy for me. So I encourage all of you to change your mindset of the things that don't go the way we were hoping that they would go. Try to look for the good, and if there is no good, then just endure it and wait for it to pass.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would build on what she said just a little bit, and that we get to choose how we react to any situation, right? And at the end of the day, there's plenty of suck. And maybe, I was talking to my buddy the other night, and Gypsy, who's in here, or he's probably asleep by now, but I was talking to him, and he said, that he felt like he was being prepared, and we talked about that we were being conditioned to, kind of embrace the suck. And the little things that we're dealing today with, the problems that we're dealing today, are small in scope of what they could be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we have to embrace the struggle a little bit, and we have to say, hey, I'm glad that I get to go through this now, because tomorrow it might be a whole lot harder. And we have an opportunity now today to do something about it. We have an opportunity today to be cold and to be hungry and to hurt because we went out and built the coop that will make our life easier, or we built the watering system that will make our life easier. But at least we have that opportunity today, when who knows what tomorrow holds, right? We don't, none of us have, absolutely, any idea. The other thing is to take advantage of those opportunities. Here we are today, before we get into 2024, before these things happen, go do the things that you can do. And I meant it. When we get done with this live tonight, I want you guys sit down and write down the 5 things you can do.
Yeah.
What are the 5 next steps, and go work on them. Just take step 1 and just go work on it. And it's a game of inches. And,
yes.
Right. It's just a game of inches, and then everyone will be all right. And we're all going to be okay. And we're going to be in this together. And as long as they allow me to come on here and talk to you guys, we're going to continue doing it. And as long as we get allowed to do festivals and to do the things that bring us all together, we're absolutely going to do it. So go write down 5 things that you can do. And the key word to that sentence is can do. And let's get started on number 1. And I'll make you guys a deal. If you guys want to do this with me, when I get down to this live, I'm going to write down 5 things. When we get on our next live, let's compare our 5 things. Right? What are the 5 things that we wrote down? Because I'd love for us to all just get another step further, and never forget we're not in competition with each other. Right?
Right.
We're on the same team, and we're going to make it different. But anyway, till we do it again,
go live a life freer today than you did yesterday.
Mm-hmm. And
hold the line.
And
make dessert.
Take out. Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
That was a good answer.